So WWE's Night of Champions was set to take place in Saudi Arabia next weekend, but with the US just having Iran and the Iranian state television saying, quote, every American citizen or military personnel in the region is now a target. The concern here on the WWE side being that Saudi Arabia is in the Middle East just like Iran, so there's obvious concern about the sending of WWE staff, talent, and crew. We'll keep an eye on how this situation develops and whether or not WWE make the decision to move the pay-per-view to somewhere else. Either way, safety is the most important thing here, and there's really no need for lives to be risked unnecessarily. Stone Cold himself has said he might have one more match left in him according to claims from multiple people during WrestleMania weekend, and that's via Fightful Select. And I'm conflicted, because usually with legends I don't need to see you come out of retirement. We've got plenty of great memories of Austin 316 to last a lifetime or two. I needed Taker to wrap it up way sooner, I didn't need Flair to still try, and I didn't need HBK at Crown Jewel. However, that KO match proved that little old Stone Cold Steve Austin is still good for the good. So, if it's the right dance partner, then why not one more street fight? Realistically, all he's got to do is brawl with somebody and stun them. It's not like he's actually having to wrestle in the traditional sense.
Stumbling! Stunner! Cover by Stone Cold! 1, 2, 3!
So I'll pass the question off to you. If Stone Cold Steve Austin has one more match, who do you want it to be against and why? Personally, I think Homegirl at WrestleMania 41 has some beef to settle with the Texas Rattlesnake. In other news, Kota Ibushi returned to AEW last night on Collision.
But you know what? I'm not his only friend.
Kota Ibushi! Kenny Omega's old taxi partner from Japan! One half of the Golden Lovers!
Just when you thought All in Texas wasn't stacked enough, we'll now probably have a Bushi too? Yeah, you can take your little Bill Goldberg retirement match and shove it. Guy like me is a golden lover, and Ibushi is set to be a part of Dynamite this week in Seattle. Adding on to All In, we also have the Casino Gauntlet match, which has been added. I always love AEW casino related things. You're always guaranteed a few awesome moments and surprise appearances. And dare I say it, is it finally time for our Cedric Alexander to make his AEW debut? Also, WWE LFG Season 2 begins tonight, and I am incredibly excited, so if you haven't tapped into Season 1 on the channel, you're missing out. There is a link below. I can't believe it's already time for another season. It feels like I just wrapped up Season 1 yesterday, but you already know that my girl Xena Bloody Sterling is taking it all this season. Also, Becky Lynch was at Fanatics Fest this week for the road to Summerslam 2025. The crowd chanted Becky 2 belts at her, and her response, she said, quote, and that might just be a prediction of what I'm looking to do again. You know, obviously when it comes to me, I wouldn't hate it. You see the Becky Lynch frame poster in the background. She's my second favorite wrestler of all time. The storm on the timeline would be insane if Becky was world champion and IC champion. How could I even fight the Becky Hogan allegations for her in that scenario? Also, continuing on with the fallout from Fanatics Fest, the King met the King of Kings as LeBron and Triple H linked up. The guys over at Big 2K are already working their tails off to try and get LeBron James's 2K26 DLC per sources. Also at Fanatics Fest, Rhea Ripley discussed her ambitions to be champion again, whether it's Io Sky or Tiffy time.
I like title time, but is that title time with Tiffy time or is it with Io Sky? It really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, Mommy is always on top, and this SummerSlam, I am gonna prove that once again.
Listen, Rhea, Tiffy already said she's gonna get you in a pink attire one of these days. I say you guys just team up instead. Now, one women's wrestler who I do want to shout out is Spider Tekla from AEW. Every now and again, I want to spotlight some of my favorite wrestlers of recent times, and so let's start with her. And equally, Queen Aminata and Nick Wayne, who are both growing stars in AEW.
Off with their head! Off with their head! It could be the win!
Let me tell you something, Queen Aminata can ball, and in that Tekla match, I'm not so unconvinced there wasn't real heat there because she was laying it in, but equally, keep it up, I enjoyed it. And in terms of spotlighting wrestlers from elsewhere, I have to talk about Ash by Elegance. She was freaking out when NXT Women's Champion JC Jane shockingly arrived on TNA this week.
The NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane, is here on Impact!
But I really dig her elegance brand and character character, and it feels like she's finally come into her own. Also, in funny news, The Undertaker joked about how long Jey Uso's entrance is recently. He said, quote, "I used to get accused of having a long entrance. My goodness." Seriously though, if you look at how long some of the entrances are on TV nowadays, it's insane. You could legit create another division and have it thrive in the time spent on Cody, Cena's, and Jay's entrances alone. Speaking of John Cena, he threw out the first pitch at a Portland Pickles game this week.
First pitch will be thrown out by none other than John Cena. If only you could see him. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Cena. Petey's ready. John Cena. A dream come true for me. Oh my God.
Incredible pitch, John. It was so good that I'm pitching up.
I'm gonna fight all these urges, my brother.
Cena was also a part of the SummerSlam 2025 kickoff. John Cena said, quote, "If you guys are digging what we're doing on television, I hope you watch Night of Champions because it's gonna be effing great. I hope you like SmackDown, hope you like the next SmackDown, because we're cooking up something awesome for you." I'll be for real, if it's as good as the Pipe Bomb or really any of the recent episodes of SmackDown, I'm sure it'll be great. A guy who I'd love to see Cena link up with for a match or two soon is Jacob Fatu. He celebrates his 1-year anniversary since his WWE debut this week.
The rumors are true! You know who that is?
Oh my God.
That's Jacob Fatu!
He's here.
What a meteoric rise for Jacob Fatu. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for him after an impressive rookie year. Something that is not so impressive though is James Harden dressing up as Hulk Hogan at Fanatics Fest. It's okay, bro don't have internet. He don't know what happened. Somebody should also tell him about the last black guy to dress up as Hulk Hogan because,
That's a murder.
Anyway, also at Fanatics Fest, Seth Rollins and CM Punk almost started brawling again. See two guys who so obviously love each other. When they become friends on screen, it's going to rival the Golden Lovers for how sexually charged it's gonna be, I swear. Back to John Cena news, he was having one hell of a time at Fanatics Fest and even destroyed a table. Ricochet is in the news again, and it won't surprise you, it's because of something he said on Twitter. He responded to friend of the show Deonte on Deck as to why we can't enjoy pro wrestling. Ricochet said, quote, "Because specific tribalistic fans are moron idiot jackasses." He's kind of cooking, I ain't gonna lie. Some of you take the AEW/WWE choosing sides thing so seriously. Anyway, back to Fanatics Fest. All the stars were out because Speed and Drewski were also in attendance. The way Speed hits a backflip so effortlessly will never get old. Speaking of getting old though, my glorious Batista is 56 years old, but he's looking good. It's just mind-blowing to me that freaking Batista is pushing 60. It doesn't even sound right. Also, Taker said recently that he'd be interested in joining the creative team in WWE depending on the circumstances. So prepare for Gunther to go on a Roman Reigns type reign while holding every belt, because if you watched LFG, you know Taker takes credit for finding Gunther. I'd also expect my wife, Michelle McCool, to win the women's championship again. On top of this, he also said he'd love to see more deeper storylines in WWE, and that's via WrestleStar, which I feel like it's tough because the general attention span is terrible nowadays. Because even as you're watching this video right now, if you're not watching this on your phone, you're probably also scrolling TikTok at the same time while it's on another monitor. I'm aware of the attention span nowadays, I know. And wrestling fans are so reactionary, so it's getting tougher and tougher to tell deep stories, because the second something isn't going the way the fans want, there's then chaos on the timeline. And not even just blaming it all on the fans, but sometimes WWE will clearly be going in a direction with a story that is terrible, so people have to react, so it kind of goes both ways. If WWE wants to tell deeper and longer storylines, then you need to get better at telling them as well. But we have had our fair share of long-term stories in recent years in pro wrestling that are really, really good to look back on, like Hangman's redemption in AEW and Cody's story, of course. Also, I think it's clear that the the subplot in the background is Sami Zayn trying to become world champion, so there's that too. You'd be able to do deeper stories with the Wyatt Six and Alexa Bliss too, who weighed in recently saying, quote, "I think it would be something that's awesome down the line, 100%. Now, while it would be nice, I guess, to see Alexa with the Wyatt Six, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's time to let Alexa go back to being the goddess. I appreciate the tribute, I really do, but it's time to just let the gimmick go for her." I also just wanted to share this hilarious tweet. Chelsea Green was handed a baby at Fanatics Fest, and the quote tweet was, "Cardona would have put it on eBay if she held it for another few seconds." And Cardona responded by saying, "Oh my god." Honestly, I gotta go to Fanatics Fest next time. It seems like everything everywhere was happening all at once. Speaking of things that are happening, the Total Divas reboot gets closer and closer, and future newbie Maxine Dupree has been receiving great praise. Both Natalya and Nikki Bella agree she's going to be a big star. There was even an official statement on the Total Divas reboot delivered by Cody Rhodes on SmackDown this week where he said,